Hi there, welcome to phase 2 of 100 Days of Coding Challenge. Today is day 1 and this phase 2 deals with the object-oriented programming concepts in Java. So let's see what question do we have today. So the question is, write a Java program to manage a library's book inventory. So we need to implement a class called book with a static variable to keep track of the total number of books and individual book details. So basically we need to write a class which is a book and which will have few properties like book details. So the description is given. Design a book class with constructor to initialize book details like title, author and publication year. Use a static member to count the total number of books added to the library. So the input format is which includes the book details, that is title, author and publication year. The output must display all the book details along with the total count of the books in the library after adding each book. So the constraint is ensure the publication year is positive integer. Of course, the year is positive, right? And now the test cases. So if input is given as 1984, you can see here this is a string, not a number. And then this is a name and this is again a integer type. So the output will be book added. So we have to print this statement. So these are few cases which are given. So you can also observe that the total books it is 1 and then it became 2 and then it became 3. So before moving to how to write the code for this, let's quickly recap the concepts related to this question. So today's concepts are related to static members, constructor and this keyword. Before that, let's have a quick recap of what is object-oriented programming. So take the objects in the real world. So like the entities like car, or bus, or person, dog, etc. So objects in real world have two things. One is, so let us say objects. So what they have are properties, and the properties are nothing but the characteristics which they have. For example, if we take a car, so what properties does it have? It has a color, it has a name, it has speed, it has capacity. So these are all the properties. And what can that car do? So that is the second thing, which are methods or the actions performed. So in the programming language, in Java, we call them as functions. So methods. So these are the two things which object has. So defining these objects, we have another thing called as class. So class is like a blueprint or a template to design this object. So this class, so we can say the object is an instance of the class. So if we have defined a class, then we can create object for that particular class. So this class will be having all these properties and methods predefined, and we can create this object using this class. So that is the idea. So this was a recap of objects and classes. So now let's see what is static, constructor and this keyword. So static keyword is a keyword which is used for the variables as well as methods. If we use this static keyword, then we don't need to create an object to call that particular variable or method. So we can directly use the name of the variable or method, or we can access it through the class name. And these constructors, so constructors are methods which have the same name as the class name, and also these constructors are called when an object is created for that particular class. So you can remember we had created objects before also. So here, so if we had a class name called car, so car, here we give the object name. So let me give it as car1 equals new. So this new will be instantiating the new object, and then so new, and then we write the class name along with this braces. So here we are actually calling the car constructor. So this constructor is used for creation of this object. So this is already predefined, and we can also define it by ourselves. And then the next keyword is this keyword. So this keyword is used to refer to the object. So we will see that in detail while writing the code. So now let's write the code for this. So what they have asked is a library's book inventory, right? Let me first create a Java file. So let me name it as library book inventory.java. So now, so firstly we will write public class library book inventory. So this class will be having the main method, which is public static void main. Now it's time to create the template or blueprint for the book. So we are going to write it as class book. So in this book, what properties did the question mention? So here we had the title, author, and publication year. So title. So title will be having a string data type, the string title, and then the author will be also having the string, so string author, and the publication year is basically int data type, so int publication year. And then we had another one which mentioned the total number of books. So the total number of books was the static variable. So here I am going to write static int the total books. So it is 0 actually. So at the start it is always 0. It's done. So now we have to create a constructor to initialize the object we create. So let's create an object for this class, book. So I have called the class name, and I will write a new object which is book1. Now new keyword to create the object and book constructor. So this constructor is called, so by default we haven't written anything, but it will be called automatically if we didn't define anything. But if we define some constructor, then that will be called. So here we can pass, so what all we have. So firstly, so we can write the same example, so 1984, and then the author name is George Orwell. So this is the second argument passed, and then the year was 1949. So these are the three parameters passed through the book. So now it's showing some error, right? Because by default the constructor doesn't have any parameters, but here we have parameters for initialization. So let me write the book constructor here. So what will it have? So it will take a string, the book name, so title, and then the string author, and then int publication year. Okay, so here you can see we had got here title is 1984, author is George Orwell, and publication year is this year. So now we have to use this keyword. So as we had created book 1 here, so this book 1's name must be assigned with this title. So this keyword is used for that. So this dot name equals title. So this dot title. So whatever object we created here, that book's title will become whatever parameter we had passed here. And then this dot author equals author. You have not to confuse with what is this title and this title. So this title refers to the parameter passed, and this title refers to the object's title. This dot publication year equals publication year. And whenever this function is called, we need to increase the total books, right? Each time we are creating a new book, that means one book has been added. So total books plus plus. So this plus plus is a simple way of writing total books equal total books plus 1. So this is a shortcut. So now we have written this book constructor. Now it's time to write the method to display these details. So let me write void and then string, so display details. So here I am going to pass so void display details. So now what I have to print here, s out. So what was the output format? So let us copy this and I will paste it here. So you can see the book added. So I'm going to write it like this, plus here will go the title, plus by, plus, and here the author name will be coming. So author, and then we have plus. So this will be again coming into strings, and then this is also into the string. And now here comes the publication year. Here the total books is also into the string. And now this one is the total books variable, total books. That's it. So now here I'm going to write book 1 dot display details. So now I'll create two other books and let's see. So book 2 equals new book. So what shall we give? The author name. So the title, so let me give it as The Great Gatsby. So this is a string, so it must be in the inverted commas. It was written by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. And now the publication year is 1925. It is definitely an integer, so we don't need the inverted commas. And now book 2 dot display details. Now create another book, which is book 3, using the same method. Let me give another book, so the Catcher in the Rye. So let us give inverted commas. The author is J.D. Salinger. And then we can paste it here. And then we have the publication year is 1951. And that's it. And book 3 dot display details. Okay. So now the code is done. So now let's run this file and check the output. Let me clear this. So Java C library book inventory.java. So the file is compiled. Sorry, book inventory. So now you can see we had got the output. Book added is 1984 by George Orwell. So here there is some mistake for the spaces. So you can add spaces while you are writing the code. And you can observe this. The total books have been incremented each time the book is created. So that's it for this question. Do follow the 100 Days of Coding Challenge by VCode. Thank you for watching.